Hi, it's me, and that's him.
And we're talking Cloverfield. As always, to stay spoiler free, click here. Or in the description below. Whichever floats your boat.
We decided to review Cloverfield in anticipation for 10 Cloverfield Lane, the latest from JJ Abrams.
He produced it.
Yeah. And didn't tell anyone he was producing it.
Yeah. Because he dropped the trailer like a month ago.
Which we didn't... Well, I watched most of the trailer, but you don't watch
trailers. I don't watch trailers for movies that I know I want to see. But anyway, we don't know much about 10 Cloverfield Lane, except it's somehow connected to Cloverfield, and that's why we did it.
Yeah, much like the original monster from Cloverfield. Hey, surprise! There's a monster.
And then doesn't tell you anything about it.
Except it's massive.
Except that makes sense in the context of the movie. Because it's found footage. Yes, we started the review. In the context of the movie, it makes sense that we know nothing about the monster, big alien, whatever it is, wherever it's from. Because we're seeing this from the point of view of the people that are in it.
Yes, but they did also show a bit of news footage in the
True.
show. So if they'd wanted to guess where it had come from, or throw out some suggestions, or tease where it had come from, they could have done it there.
Yes, that is true.
But yeah.
I like the fact that they didn't.
Yeah.
It added to the, a bit of the suspense. It's not hugely suspenseful, but the bit of the mystery, that's the word I was looking for.
Mystery, yeah.
The mystery of the movie. I got it out there.
You did. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if 10 Cloverfield Lane answers some of the questions that were raised by Cloverfield. For example, where the monster came from, what caused it, did all of the main characters actually die?
We believe most of them did.
But, was it?
There's at least two we counted that.
There was one that got away in the helicopter, the first helicopter that took off.
The Lisa, I think her name was the chick.
Yeah, the girlfriend. So she got
and then the brother, who's the boyfriend of that girl, could technically have survived.
Yeah, the brother that was going to Japan.
No, not the one that was going to Japan, the other one.
No, the one that was going to Japan.
Oh, yeah, the one that going to Japan.
The one that was going to Japan might have survived because there was a bombing raid right at the end.
That's the one.
And then there was rubble, and the camera got found later, and it's claimed to be property of the US government. But so we're unsure whether he got found later and survived, or if he got bombed. But
we'll find out.
We will.
Whether they actually answer those questions.
Well, yeah. And then I guess it would be if they don't answer those questions.
What questions they actually do ask?
Are they just going to pose a whole bunch of new questions, such as how long can someone run in heels with a monster?
Maybe they'll answer that one in this movie.
I have a feeling they won't.
No.
But from what I'm aware, running all night in heels is a bad idea. So
maybe we should have called on one of our female friends to. Oh, hang on, we don't have female friends.
I have a sister.
Oh, we could have called. I have a sister. We could have asked them. Anyway, that was the one thing that we kept paying out while we watched it the other night, was the fact that
she was in stilettos,
and she didn't try to find any other shoes at any point. She just kept running in it, and then we're like, well, maybe she finds them comfortable. And then the next scene, she's walking upstairs with them in her hand.
Yeah. And then she's like been through a department store, been to like an army staging point, and they kind of like, oh, it's civilians. They'll be fine. Don't let them do anything. Then they let them go do their own thing without giving them any equipment at all. Not even new shoes. No new shoes. Stilettos. But yeah, so until she was climbing the stairs in a skyscraper, she decided that heels were the way to run around a city.
That was a little bit...
Yeah, we both thought that was a bit silly.
But considering that that's pretty much the only thing that really was... I mean, there's lots. There was
a lot of foreshadowing of, oh, this person's going to die, or maybe that person's going to die. And I thought it was interesting that he was meant to be going to Japan, and then the giant monster rocks up and destroys the city. Godzilla, anyone?
Yeah.
Maybe?
I actually thoroughly enjoy this movie, though. It's actually been a movie that I really enjoyed previously, obviously, because I've seen it before. We found out on Thursday that you hadn't actually seen it. Halfway through, he's like,
Wait,
I don't remember this scene.
Yeah, I think it was playing somewhere where I was like at a party or something and saw parts of it or most of it, but not all of it. So that was interesting. I thought I had seen it, but no, I had not.
Yeah, I mean, found footage can be quite annoying to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
I think when this came out, there wasn't heaps of it out there, so I found it quite almost refreshing in a way because it was done so differently.
Yep.
Compared to what I had seen, and I liked the whole mystery air around the monster going on thingy, and the visual effects were actually really brilliant.
Yeah. And it even ties back into the movie we did last week. Same actor.
Yes. You don't see much of him though in either movie.
Even more continuity.
We're obviously, of course, talking about TJ Miller.
Yeah.
He's the one that holds the camera all through Cloverfield.
Because he gets conned into it by someone saying, "Here, do my job for you."
Yeah.
A little bit of Tom Sawyer, I think it is.
I didn't mind that. I really liked the interactions. They felt really real between people. It actually felt like you were watching that interaction a little bit rather than actually reading a script or spouting off lines that they obviously.
Yeah, and you could kind of feel the whole like, I really don't want to be filming this myself. Oh wait, it's my brother's best friend. I'll con him into doing it. Totally worked because got asked by his girlfriend to film it, but doesn't want to, so he finds a creative way out of.
Yes, the one little frustrating thing is a lot of the time is obviously because of budget constraints, they couldn't just always be showing the visual effects side of things. Like when they're on top of the roof, when they finally got the girlfriend Beth.
Yeah.
Saved her from the skyscraper, and they're going across the roof, and you can see the monster getting bombarded by something by
I think it's jets.
Yeah, by jets. Yeah. I'm sitting there going, there's no way in anyone's right mind, even if they're not a proper cameraman, would be like, oh, I'll flick to him, and then I'll flick to where I'm walking.
Unless he was holding it here, looked up, and then lost his footing a little bit.
That's about the only explanation. But
then he probably should have been paying attention to walking and not holding a camera here. Like, oh look, you've lost my face.
I mean, you don't have to look through. You just turn like this and just keep walking. Those are the only things, the little gripes that I have with like found footage all the time.
Also, we haven't tested like what it's actually like to climb onto the top of a skyscraper with a monster in the city with jets overhead
and a camera in your hand, which is obviously a fairly sizable camera because
it's a bit of an older one.
It's got digital tape and all that because they obviously talk about tape. And all that, and they had to rewind the tape and all that sort of crap. But my train of thought just left me.
And then there's also the movie cuts between his romantic weekend, the brother going to Japan's romantic weekend with Beth from a month ago, roughly.
Yeah, whatever it was.
To the actual events where the monster comes through, and references this halfway through the movie by saying, "You changed the tape, didn't you?" And he's like, "I got no idea. I just got given the camera." So, yeah, and then
the only thing that gripes me with that is being a bit of an amateur filmmaker is it doesn't really make any sense that it jumps forward and leaves some of that intact because unless he's gone in and fast forwarded the tape, it wouldn't actually jump forward.
Because there was one point where they try and review footage of them seeing the monster, right?
Yeah. And that fast forwarding...
So he'd probably fast forward after that.
That makes sense.
But the other ones...
And the bit at the very start makes sense as well.
Yeah, the very
because
start. And
they may have actually rewound it all the way.
And I think there's a tiny bit at the end as well.
Yeah, that makes sense as well.
And then that once in the middle. But the other ones are a bit iffy as to why that would happen.
Yeah. It's one of those storytelling things that they had to get in there, or they felt they had to get in there. Kind of did. It made sense on the context of the movie to have those bits in there. But they're one of those things that I'm just like,
Yeah.
And nowadays, found footage really doesn't work that well because it's all digital now. So it's like, unless obviously someone's cut it together. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Little gripe of mine, but
the other one they did is they started showing the whole cell phones filming things culture, which is now really big, of people just watching events through their smartphones.
Yes.
In the movie, obviously, it's flip phones and that generation phone.
Yeah,
rather
it's a bit
than
older.
Because it's the phones that we're at.
Yeah.
It's like, but seeing that in a movie and it's now real life as that's really what happens is also interesting. Like, it was the heritage or the origins of no one living and just filming everything for their phone.
That's when it really started, but it's just like they only show 3 or 4 phones. Nowadays it would be like it's at the start when they do a surprise party at the start, and everyone's like a few people holding up the phone like filming his speech. And it's like nowadays it would be like double or triple the amount. Yeah, and the whole testimonial thing. Yeah, no one would really do that because there's just so much ridiculous bad footage of stuff. I guess. But yeah, overall it's a lot of fun. A lot of questions to be answered, which I guess kind of makes the movie a little more entertaining because it asks the questions but doesn't throw everything in your face. Yeah, and then by not answering the questions, you can't claim that there's like plot holes in the answer. Yeah, there's a monster. Why? We didn't tell you. There's a monster. This is what you don't need a reason. We're following these characters, not the U.S. Army that have. Yeah, and then the whole infantry against the giant monster was a little bit interesting. Yeah, but at the same time... Eventually they got to the whole bombing it, but... Yeah, but like, I don't think an infantry versus a giant monster is a very good idea. Ever. In general. Like, the infantry to help evacuate people, that's fine, but these guys were running in with machine guns opening fire on it. Yeah. When they were opening fire on the small... like miniony things, that was fine. That makes sense. So maybe the military already knew that the small things were there, so that they were coming in to deal with that. But that didn't explain all the missiles from the tanks and stuff like that. Yeah, unless they were just trying to direct it into a certain part of the city. Also, we had a problem with the helicopter ending in Central Park. Yeah, we couldn't work out we don't live in New York, obviously, but the geography of it doesn't make sense from looking at a map of Manhattan. They said they were in Midtown, or going to Midtown to get Beth. Well, they would have had to be in Midtown because they got Beth. That's where she lives. Yeah, they got Beth from Midtown. Shortly afterwards, they were on a helicopter nearish by. So we thought they should fly either east or west, not north-south, which is, well, they ended up north. Of where they were. Where they started in Central Park. So unless the helicopter took a really big spiral or something, I don't know how that happened. Maybe you can correct us in the comments. Yeah, if you're American, or you're really good at aerodynamics, or I don't know what. Either way. That's our thoughts on the movie. I'm about done. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. It's a good movie. I really enjoy it. Yeah. I guess we'll refer back to it when we do see Cloverfield. Yes. Yes, we will, which is in Turkish. So that'll be on February 5th. No, we're currently in February. March! But the next thing we'll see... No, in March 5th, we'll be doing the review of Gods of Egypt, which we're actually going to... 10 Cloverfield Lane in 2 weeks. But next week is... I know where we're going! Next week is the 5th, where we'll have seen Gods of Egypt. You're not very good at dates. I'm horrible at dates. So, in next week, March 5th... Yes, March 5th. Possibly 6th, depending on how well it loads up. We will be doing a review of Gods of Egypt. Which we're actually going to be seeing later tonight. Well, yeah, we'll be seeing that in a couple of hours. But it will be out next week. On probably the Saturday Australian time, so all the people, it should be out by the 5th, Saturday. Yeah. And then in 2 weeks, the following week after that, whatever that date is, will be 10 Cloverfield Lane. Yeah. So, feel free to comment, like it, subscribe, all that sort of fun stuff. And if you want a link to that video, click on him to see Gods of Egypt. Obviously, after the 5th, we don't have a review of that yet. And if you want to see us talk for half an hour about Deadpool, click on me. Half an hour. I promise. It's brilliant. We have a lot of comments.